and the round 14 Kingston Press Championship clash between Featherstone Rovers and Dewsbury Rams. The big match sponsor today, LD Nutrition, associate match sponsor Limpac, man of the match sponsor Loco Energy Drink, match ball sponsor Heineken. Team lineups today, Featherstone Rovers, number 1 Ian Hardman, 18 Scott Turner, 22 Jason Walton, 23 Josh Hardcastle, 4 Missy Talapapa, 7 Anthony Thackeray, 31 Corey Aston, 13 Richard Moore, 9 Keel Carlisle, 16 Luke Cooper, 14 Frankie Mariano, 12 John Davis and 21 James Lockwood. On the interchange, 19 Matty Wilde, 8 Darryl Griffin, 15 Brad Tagg, 30 Jack Ormonroyd. Head coach John Sharp. Dewsbury Rams lineup, number 2 Dale Morton, 23 Lewis Fairhurst, 32 Sean Squires, 4 Lucas Walshaw, James Glover, 17 Dom Speakman, 7 Andy Kane, 24 Jody Sharif, 9 Tom Hemingway, 16 Toby Adamson, 30 Daniel Igbenedian, 20 Aaron Ollett and 13 Aaron Brown. On the interchange, 14 Luke Adamson, 15 Robbie Ward, 26 Billy Hayes and 10 Tony Tonks. Head coach for Dewsbury is Neil Kelly. My name's Joan Fitzpatrick, and in the commentary box today we've got Ben Gummersall and Joe Crabtree. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Good evening, Joe.
So it's a Saturday evening game. First time we've had one this season. The sun has finally come out after we've had persistent rain all afternoon, so it is going to be a slippy turf out there, but it's perfect conditions as it is now.
Ideal conditions for Rugby League, Joanne. Like you say, we've had a day of rain for the large part of this afternoon and this morning, but it stopped. The cloud looks to be clearing somewhat. The sun appears to be out, so hopefully the pitch will firm up and we'll be able to see a good game of Rugby League.
Obvious there, Joe, Featherstone Rovers, obvious returns because of those injuries to Briscoe Olunya. And welcome returns are those of Jason Walton and Frankie Mariano in the centre and second row respectively.
Definitely, Briscoe and Olunya, the huge assets on the fringes. They create countless opportunities for Featherstone, but we've been able to bring back 2 real strike players in the form of Mariano and Walton. They'll definitely test this Dewsbury defence.
And our backs, they've turned into try-scoring machines over the last few games. Ian Hardman, he's on 8 tries. Scott Turner's on 7 tries and 99 career tries, so he'll be looking for his 100th today. And Josh Hardcastle, 8 tries. What a find he's been this season.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Well, we've said this so many times, and John Sharp said it so many times. This time last year, he was playing at Featherstone Lions. He's come in pre-season, made a real mark in pre-season, and then when he gets to games, he takes his chances. That's the most important thing about this player. And he's such a strike player in the centres. He's so dangerous running those angles, and he is a real threat to Dewsbury today, Joe.
Let's have a look at the Dewsbury team. Neil Kelly has come in as head coach since Featherstone last played them over at the Rams Stadium, and he's made a little bit of a difference to that team. Okay, they're still lingering at the depths of the table, but he has sort of brought the charges up a little bit, hasn't he?
Definitely. Dewsbury really needed that as well. Neil Kelly spent a bit of time out of the sport. I think it was a surprising call for many people. And they thought when he came in, would he be able to have the kind of impact that he has? Undoubtedly, though, he's come in and got them playing as a collective unit. They had a decent squad at the beginning of this year. People were thinking they were capable of achieving things at the higher echelons of the table. They haven't done that, though. Definitely a very capable coach, though. You think of what he did coming to watch Featherstone play, and to be fair, get battered by his Hull KR team. If you can get that Dewsbury team playing to a fraction of what they could, their fans are in for a treat.
And Neil Kelly with the Dewsbury team of yesteryear as well, when Dewsbury were the top dogs under Barry Eaton's captaincy. So he knows what it takes to have a successful Dewsbury team. In the Dewsbury lineup, no Gareth Moore. He was the new signing announced this week, but he's pulled up in training yesterday, so not able to turn out for Dewsbury. That's a blow for Neil Kelly.
It is indeed, and I'd be interested to see the partnership that Gareth Moore would have developed today with Andy Kane in the halfbacks. Shame we won't see that today for the Rams, but going forward, they'll be looking at that as a key partnership throughout the remainder of their season.
They will. So in the halfbacks for Dewsbury, Dom Speakman and Andy Kane. In the forwards, we were talking on the Facebook Live about the fact that they were a little bit niggly, let's say, at the fixture at Dewsbury, weren't they?
Just a little bit. Let's say it was a bit of a feisty game, shall we say that one. It's important, if that, I don't know, obviously it's a different coach now, it's a different setup at Dewsbury, but it's important that Rovers, if that's how Dewsbury are going to play, it's important they don't get drawn into that. They need to keep their composure. They need to keep their discipline. And if they can do that today, there's no reason they can't win.
Definitely crucial that they don't get drawn into that, because one of the most important things in today's match, I feel, particularly given the injury woes that Featherstone have at the moment, is that they all come off that pitch in the same condition they go on it.
Certainly is, Joe, because we have got Blackpool coming up next week, a really important clash against London. We won't talk too much about that, but it's important they do stay injury-free and disciplinary clean as well.
Definitely. Got to stay out of any of the funny business. They've got to make sure they put on a show for the fans and they make this a real spectacle. That's not holding back. It's not giving 100%, but it's playing smart and using your head.
So the team's in the tunnel at the moment, just a little bit late coming out onto the pitch, 3 minutes past 6, so not going to kick off on time at this game. But Dewsbury and Featherstone now entering the pitch. A little bit of a hole there, but they finally get out onto the pitch, do the two teams. Led by Percy the Pit Burney, as usual, here at the LD Nutrition Stadium now. The teams are going to line up with the ladies' teams that were playing. The Featherstone Rovers Lionesses were playing before this game, so they're the mascots of Featherstone Rovers.
Looks very strong, but for Featherstone Rovers, crucial, like you say, John, into Blackpool next week. This unbeaten run that we have going at the minute, which is it 7 games, 8 games, something like that, unbeaten. If Rovers can get another win today and keep that momentum going, Joe, that'll put them in great stead for next week.
Definitely. Momentum's such a big thing in rugby league. When it's a match that's taking physical strain upon your body, feeling on top of the world in terms of how well you're playing can have a huge impact.
So Featherstone Rovers, they're going to be playing towards the Post Office Road end in this first half. They're going to kick off with Corey Aston. Just waiting for the flags to come off the field. The pitch is looking in pretty good condition out there this evening in this May sunshine. So Corey Aston now just preparing to kick this game off. Like it's going to get underway 5 minutes late is this game. Referee Tom Grant signals that it's okay to kick off and this game gets underway. Aston with a lofted high kick towards Dewsbury and it's driven in forward towards that 20-metre line, but the Featherstone defence are there to wrap Toby Adamson up. He plays the ball on the Dewsbury 20 and it comes into the middle. Richard Moore and Keil Carlisle in on that tackle with James Lockwood. Cross now to the left. Dewsbury not going anywhere at the moment. They're just shy of the 30-metre line, but that was a quick play of the ball. It comes back over to this left-hand wing. Talapapa's in on that tackle with Lockwood again on Sean Squires. Comes across now to Daniel Benedian, and he makes it up to the halfway line, but it is the last tackle for Dewsbury. Comes back to Speakman, who puts a very high kick up into the air. It's not gone much metres forward, but he collects his own kick at Speakman and gets the ball away. And it's hacked forward by Tom Hemingway. Scott Turner just fumbles with the ball, but eventually picks it up 5 metres away from his own line and brings it up to the 10.
Yeah, interesting kick forward from Dewsbury. High kick initially. Didn't make many metres forward, but then it was hacked forward by the Rams. And they've managed to get the territory. Pin Rovers back in their own 20. And Rovers now need a good attacking set, bringing it out. And to help them out, there's a penalty.
Yeah, Missy Talopapa was trying to get to play the ball. I think he's our highest penalty earner, is Missy Talopapa, and he earns the penalty there for Featherstone Rovers. He's a strong man. He was trying to get the ball. It's a bit of a flat kick there from Thackeray to touch, but it eventually does make touch, and Josh Hardcastle takes the 10. Just shy of the 40, and he goes forward now 5 metres short of the halfway line. Comes across into the middle with Lockwood. Lockwood's tackled by 3 Dewsbury players on that centre spot, and it comes to Cooper. Cooper gets it wide to Thackeray, who then gets it to Mariano.
There were men over on the outside there. You thought, whilst there's tackles in the back, could have chanced their arm early doors, Rovers.
Yeah, Mariano got wrapped up before able to get that ball away. Richard Moore now with the ball, and he makes it over to the Dewsbury 30 on the 4th tackle. It's into the middle now with Thackeray. Thackeray lays it off to Luke Cooper. Dewsbury defence holding up firm at the moment, although Cooper's driving his legs forward. Great effort by Luke Cooper there. So 15 metres short on the line. It's the last tackle. Thackeray runs with it, and he passes it to Walton, but they went for the power play option. Walton releases the ball and Dewsbury pick it up. Not sure if that was the best option on that last tackle.
Not so sure, but Rovers turning possession over, turning it over inside the Rams 10-metre area, forcing the Rams to return from deep. So if you're going to turn it over, that's not a bad place to do it.
Dale Morton looking for the penalty there, but it wasn't forthcoming. He felt that Anthony Thackeray was astride him, but referee said no, get up, play the ball. So Benedian now taking it over the 30-metre line for Dewsbury. In the middle, Aaron Brown, the loose forward. Going up in ones at the moment, Luke Cooper in, but Luke Cooper just rolled Aaron Brown over a little bit there and gives the penalty away, perhaps a bit unnecessary, Joe.
Yeah, Featherstone had been very fortunate up to then. I think they are holding up this play the ball an awful lot. The referee was letting them get away with it to a degree, but now they've found their line. It's about adapting to that and making sure they're consistent throughout. Dewsbury then coming forward down that right flank, and Featherstone, their line going to be tested for the first time here, really.
Yeah, so Dewsbury, it was a great kick by Hemingway to touch and got Dewsbury many metres forward, and they're within the Featherstone 10 now and putting some real pressure on that Featherstone line. They've got tackles in the bag, and it comes across to Kane, but that's a poor pass out to the wing from Andy Kane, and it's a knock on. It was looping and it was down by his bootlaces, was that, for Luis Ferres to collect.
Opportunity bomb there for Ramsey. A great opportunity it was as well. Over on that right-hand side, the gap was there. If the pass had gone to hand, unfortunately, it was low pass on the bounce. The winger over on that far side just couldn't take that ball in, and a let off for Featherstone Rovers.
Certainly was, yes. Featherstone survived that then. Dewsbury should have done better with that set of 6, you'd have felt. But they've turned possession over, and the Featherstone are bringing it away from that scrum. Scott Turner's coming to the middle, and he's tackled 22 metres away from his own line. So Featherstone having to bring it out from deep. They're giving it some width now. Comes out to Hardcastle. But Dewsbury read that well, and they've got Hardcastle to the ground on his back. So it's a slower play the ball. It comes to Talopapa now on the charge. Talopapa takes it over the 40-metre line. So Featherstone still in their own half at the moment. Here's an early kick from Keil Carlisle from dummy half. It loops over the top of Morton, and Morton has to collect it 5 metres away from his own line. And he drops the ball, and it's picked up by Hardcastle. Hardcastle tries to get it out to Talopapa, but it was a free play, so it'll be a scrum to Featherstone.
Smart play by Hardcastle on the free play there. Dewsbury very much stacking their defence into the middle of the field early doors to deal with the firepower that Featherstone have going forward. You feel if Featherstone can get the ball out wide, though, there's room for the Rovers to take advantage.
Yeah, great challenge on Morton. It was that, causing him to lose that ball after that early kick on the fourth by Keele Carlisle from dummy half, a clever play.
Alertness, though, from the Rovers on that attack, on the free play to try and get that ball out wide. Since there was a gap there to try and exploit, but the Dewsbury team just getting a hand to the ball.
So a bit of a comedy moment there as Talapapa threw the ball to the scrum and it hit Davis on the bonds, didn't it? So anyway, from the back of the scrum now to Thackeray. Thackeray lays it out to Hardcastle. Hardcastle's charging through. Dewsbury just managed to catch him. He's 5 metres away from that line, though. Plays the ball, Carlisle to Richard Moore, but Richard Moore was standing still. He puts a pass to Davis, who does well to scoop it up one-handed, but they've lost ground here. Davis thought he saw a half gap there, but is tackled, and Carlisle now to Lockwood. Lockwood driving towards the posts, but he's facing, and the referee's giving a penalty for offside from Dewsbury there, so Featherstone are going to get another set of 6 attacking that Dewsbury line.
James Lockwood, he might give some penalties away, but he earns a couple too.
He certainly was. He was quick onto that, wasn't he? So this tap's going to be taken just 5 metres short of that Dewsbury line. Richard Moore charging forward. Not really going with much force then, though, and Dewsbury tackling just short, but Featherstone got plenty of tackles left. It comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Cooper. Cooper driving towards the line, pulled down a metre short. Taking an age to play the ball there, and it comes to Lockwood again. Lockwood going for that line, and is he over? The referee confirms that with his touch judge, and he confirms that it's a try for Featherstone Rovers for James Lockwood.
There was no stopping James Lockwood there. He came so close just before, forces Dewsbury into giving away a penalty on that occasion, though. There was no way of stopping him getting that ball to the ground, and he gives Featherstone the lead.
Featherstone were on the charge with a couple of the props there, were they? Or a couple of the forwards with Moore and Cooper on the build-up to that. And finally, Lockwood, with his brawn, went to the left-hand side of the post and forced his way over. So it's Featherstone Rovers 4, Dewsbury Rams 0 after 8 minutes of play, with the kick to come from Corey Aston.
Luke Cooper went very close, just to the right of the sticks in the build-up to that try. Held up a metre short. Then the ball worked to the left. Lockwood showing aggression, strength and power to drive that ball in, getting it down just a metre or so to the left of those sticks. It's a great start for Rovers in this opening 10 minutes.
It certainly is. So Corey Aston just to the left of the post here, 5 metres to the left of the post. Should be a formality for him, this conversion attempt. And it certainly is. It goes onto the roof of the houses at the post office road end. It was a high, hard kick, and it's gone through the middle. So it's Featherstone Rovers 6, Dewsbury Rams 0 within the first 10 minutes of this game. So Featherstone with their points on the scoreboard this evening, first to get the points on it. And Dewsbury are going to have to kick off to Featherstone Rovers.
It's a decent result for the Rovers. That they've been down that end of the field once in this match, and they've come away with points. Talapapa then to return this ball. He claims it, runs it in straight and hard, takes 3 men to haul him to the ground, but they do so 25 metres out from the Rovers line. Hardcastle then brings it infield. It's a great scoop from Hardcastle, and the Rovers are just shy of the 40.
Great work from Featherstone Rovers now. Richard Moore in that centre field, driving that ball in as well. A good defence there from the Dewsbury Rams. Rovers 8 metres short of halfway, Joanne.
Yeah, so Thackeray out wide now to Mariano. It's great to see him back. He pushes off 2 Dewsbury would-be defenders, and I think that's going to be a penalty as well. Andy Kane messing around with Mariano on the floor and not letting him get up to play the ball. And he gets penalised for that. So Featherstone going to have a decent attack on that Dewsbury line once again.
Easy meters this for Featherstone Rovers. Piggybacking them upfield, putting them well inside, 25 metres out from that Dewsbury line with a full set of 6 in hand. What an opportunity this is.
Jason Walton trying to take a quick tap. Referee wasn't ready though, so he's asked him to go back to take it again. And he runs forward. 15 metres away from that Dewsbury line is Walton as he plays the ball. Comes into the middle to Cooper. Cooper, it takes 3 or 4 Dewsbury defenders to get him to the floor, and Carlisle to Thackeray. Thackeray to Aston, Aston to Moore, almost through, but that was a decent tackle from Sean Squires to stop him. It comes to Hardman, who lays it back there, and there's another Featherstone Rovers penalty. I thought it had gone to Hardman. I in fact went to Keele Carlisle, did that ball, but it's a Featherstone penalty. So Featherstone going to take another tap 5 metres short, so come across to Lockwood in the middle. Lockwood takes it over the 10-metre line. Plays the ball, it comes over to the left now with Aston. Aston to Thackeray. Thackeray with a quick pass to Mariano, who's on the charge. Just hold down short. That deserved a try, did that. And it's to Cooper now. Cooper goes back into that area, and I think Dewsbury were trying to claim for a penalty. They're not going to get it. Comes into the middle with Thackeray. Thackeray to Aston. Aston to Hardman. Hardman to Hardcastle. There's room here for Talapapa. Talapapa cuts on the inside, and he's over on that right hand, near the right hand touch line. Missing Talapapa in for the second try for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon.
A beautiful passage of play for the Rovers. They're sucking all of that Dewsbury defence over on the Rams' right-hand flank. Then great play with the hands, bringing it over to this right-hand side. And a sublime finish from Talapapa in the corner, as always.
So 12 minutes gone in this game, and it's Featherstone Rovers in the lead, 10 points to 0, and this kick's to come, but it is on the right-hand touch line as Talapapa went in there. So it's a fairly difficult kick for Corey Aston.
It is, and just worth mentioning as well, whilst Aston lines his kick up, his conversion to the first try was his 100th goal for Featherstone. 101st points, sorry. 100 points, sorry, yes. So it's
not quite got to the 100 goal mark yet. I think he needs a few more games before that.
As tight to the touchline as this can be, but well worked from Featherstone, switching the ball out so quickly from left to right, stretching this Dewsbury defence. Ian Hardman sucked in the centre and the winger, creating the overlap, and quick play from Hardcastle to get Talapapa and superbly over in the corner. A great try for Featherstone Rovers.
Corey Aston then eyeing up this kick. Puts boot to ball. It's looking good, and that's a great kick from Corey Aston. A great conversion, extending Featherstone Rovers' lead to 12 points to 0. After 12 minutes of play, Featherstone Rovers in charge of this game.
I'll just do my little referees union bit and talk about the penalty that Dewsbury tried to claim over on that right-hand side. Mariano taking the ball in, played the ball, it came out to Cooper. Cooper then ran back in, and whilst Mariano was obstructing the Dewsbury defenders, because he played the ball and hadn't moved from his spot, he can't be penalised for it.
Thank you for that, Joe, because Dewsbury were quite adamant, and obviously the Featherstone try led after that play, so thank you for that input. Featherstone Rovers now from dummy half with Carlisle to Lockwood, but that's good Dewsbury defence to game to the floor. Comes out to the left now with Jason Walton. Jason Walton so strong, he's got that leg heavily strapped, but it's great to see him out there on that pitch alongside Mariano. He comes now into the middle with Lockwood again. He's getting through some work in the early stages of this first half. Is James Lockwood with ball in hand. Plays the ball, it comes back to that left-hand side. Thackeray puts a little dainty kick over the top, but it's collected well by the Dewsbury winger. So Dewsbury having to play this ball 8 metres away from their own line.
Talk about how you play your sets off the back of a try that you score. An almost perfect set for Featherstone Rovers, other than maybe scoring a try or getting a repeat from it. Going through the tackle superbly, making yards upfield, and then pinning the round back within their own 10-metre line. That's almost a perfect return set.
Totally agree with that. That was, like you say, the metres made forward from that kick-off after the try, excellent. So Igbenedian now, it's the last. Dewsbury only made 30 metres on this set of 6. They're way within their half, and they're having to kick it from deep within the half, and it goes straight into the hands of Scott Turner, does that kick, and he's already 5 metres short of the halfway line.
Fantastic defensive work from the Rovers to contain Dewsbury there, and then Scott Turner returning that ball. He's always so direct. Speaking of direct, there comes Walton barging in with the ball.
So Walton plays the ball, it comes to Thackeray. Thackeray with the inside pass to Luke Cooper in the middle. Featherstone 35 metres away from that Dewsbury line. It's 12 points to 0. Comes to Aston now. Aston shows it and tries to do a little half break, but Igbinedian's in there alongside Sean Squires to get him to the floor. And they're coming down this short side with John Davis, puts a little kick through and Talapapa's chasing it. He puts it on the inside and Hardcastle touches the ball down. And that's a try to Josh Hardcastle. Hardcastle's 9th try of the season. And what a great piece of play there.
Fantastic play from Featherstone Rovers. A kick there through from the attacking team. Not it looked Papa had too much work to do. Able to inside to Hardcastle, who had the presence of mind to be in the right place at the right time, backing up superbly. What a great try for Featherstone Rovers, Joe.
Alan Globetrotter stuff from the Rovers, Ben. Talapapa, for a man who's so used to playing in the centre, out on that wing, he was ready and he reacted to the situation, tapped it inside to Hardcastle. All credit to Hardcastle as well. He spotted what Talapapa was going to do. He was on the same wavelength. Two men who haven't played together very much, but adapted to that situation perfectly and in unison.
And what a delicate little kick there from John Davis. Featherstone going down that short side with John Davis, putting that delicate little kick in. Looked as though Talapapa was going to be running out of room, but how he made that ball come back into the field, and like you say, Hardcastle doing so well to chase that. It's a conversion for Aston once again from this right-hand touchline. They're not making it easy for him this evening, but I'm sure he won't mind the challenge.
Not at all. And the other thing to think of that as well is the points difference as well. Toulouse are kicking off. They play Sheffield this evening. If Rovers can get a good result here today and get some points on the board, it puts pressure on Toulouse ahead of their match. And also
with the conversion attempt, and he just puts it to the right of the post there, so unsuccessful with that one this time. It wasn't far off. It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Dewsbury Rams 0. Great start by Featherstone Rovers to this half, and Dewsbury looking a little bit disconsolate as they head towards that halfway line, Joe.
Well, it's a point a minute at the moment for the Rovers. And yeah, they look like scoring every time they've got the ball.
So it's a high kick-off to Talapapa. He takes it cleanly, though, and he drives it forward himself and knocks Igbinedian on his backside there, does Talapapa. Plays the ball. Carlisle at dummy half to Moore. Moore driving it forward over the 40-metre line, and it's a knock-on by Richard Moore. Carlisle slaps his thigh in frustration. I think that's the first error that Featherstone have come up with after 18 minutes of play, and you see how much that meant to them, that they wanted to be error-free. They wanted clean sets of 6.
Definitely. They were really starting to turn the screw against Dewsbury, and that can only lead to a bit of disillusionment in the Dewsbury camp. They were getting on top of them, and this just gives the Rams a little bit of a boost.
So Andy Kane with the scrum. It was Speakman feeding the scrum. Andy Kane now taking the ball forward for Dewsbury, but and there's a penalty. Luke Cooper just laying on Andy Kane in the tackle a little bit, not letting him get up quickly to play that ball. So Dewsbury with a penalty. So it's Featherstone error, and then just giving a penalty away on that first tackle from the scrum. And Dewsbury with a little bit of glimmer of hope there as they take this tap on the 20 with Lucas Walshaw. He's tackled 12 metres short of the Featherstone line as Tony Tonks enters the field for Dewsbury. So on the second tackle now, they're 8 metres short and are the Rams, and it comes across to Kane. Kane does a little bit of a dummy. It comes across to Sean Squires, who gets the ball away on this left-hand side, and I think Dewsbury could be in for a try there. They certainly are. So good bit of play there by Andy Kane. He sold the dummy. It came across to Sean Squires, who got that one-handed pass out to the left-hand side, and Dewsbury gone in for that try. It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Dewsbury Rams 4.
It's a response that Dewsbury Rams needed. Rovers were on top in this game for quite a period. But the Dewsbury Rams, good play, as you say, from Andy Kane to bring that ball across to this left-hand side. A pass out of the back door, which has led to a try for Lewis Fairhurst in this corner. It's the first try for the Rams after 20 minutes. It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Dewsbury 4.
Dewsbury there showing that they are a capable team, ball in hand. So for Featherstone's point of view, it's a game of territory. They've got to keep Dewsbury down the other end of the field. They've crucially got to complete their sets, though, because we know, ball in hand, Featherstone will get down the other end of the field.
So it's going to be a tricky conversion attempt for James Glover, the right winger for Dewsbury Rams. It's on this left-hand touchline, strikes the ball. It's just missed the post, so Dewsbury Rams remain on 4 points. So Featherstone Rovers 16, Dewsbury Rams 4, 20 minutes of this game played. Just a little slip up by Featherstone Rovers there. It was the error and then the penalty from Luke Cooper laying on that gave Dewsbury that opportunity to breach the Featherstone Rovers defence.
What Rovers need now, Joanne, is a good defensive set. Keep the pin their hands back in their own territory. Try and hunt the mistake. And if they can do that, or at least force the Rams to kick from deep to give them a good opportunity to get good yardage.
Certainly do. As Corey Aston comes for this kick-off, and it's a high flirting one again, and it's taken by Andy Kane, who lays it off. Dewsbury bring it up to their 20 metre, but the Featherstone Rovers defence push them back. Ball's played now to Tony Tonks, the first touch of Tonks on the field, and he drives his legs forward again, a familiar figure from his time at Featherstone. So Dewsbury still in the Featherstone half, they're on the 30 metre line. And as Ben says, we're looking for a clean Featherstone defensive set here as Andy Kane dodges with the ball a little bit, but it doesn't fool John Davis and James Lockwood, who get him to the floor. Igbenedian now. Igbenedian to Squires, and the ball's dropped. Richard Moore picks it up, and it's a free play, so he gets it out to Anthony Thackeray. Thackeray to Jason Moulton, who puts the ball to the floor, but the ball will be brought back for the first knock-on by Dewsbury, by Sean Squires, so Featherstone get the put in about on the 40 metre line, the Dewsbury 40.
Featherstone looked to capitalise on the free play there, but couldn't quite take advantage of it. The ball, to be fair, was a little around Walton's ankles over on that far left side, but almost made it through that opportunistic break.
So Aston just awaiting Dewsbury to pack the scrum properly. Aston's going to put the ball in. Okay, Hardcastle now. Hardcastle 25 metres away from that line, and he plays the ball to Carlisle, and it comes into the middle with Aston to Lockwood. As Luke Cooper leaves the field for Featherstone Rovers, and Jack Ormonroyd replaces him. Lockwood thinking he should have had a penalty there, but it comes now to Mariano. Mariano's pulled down 15 metres short of that Dewsbury line. It plays the ball to Moore on that short side, on that left-hand side, and he comes round. Looks like he might get bundled into touch, and he does. That's good defence by Dewsbury to push Richard Moore into touch there, and he was looking to go round on that left-hand side on the arc, but unable to get over that Dewsbury line. Yeah,
the angle run from Richard Moore, it was a good angle to run, but just taking him just too close to that Dewsbury touch line on that far side, and the Rams able to get men across to put him into touch. But again, turning the ball over inside the Dewsbury 10, forcing the Rams to come from deep. It's a good place to turn it over if you're going to do that.
Yeah, Dewsbury were dangerous in attack earlier, but when they've been down this end of the field, Featherstone have constantly been able to contain them. They've really struggled breaking out.
So Dewsbury now with the ball. 12 metres away from their own line. They're having to bring it out, do it tough. Second tackle, and Richard Moore's in there with Josh Hardcastle. Tony Tonks now. Tonks takes it up to the 30 before he's brought down. Hemingway in at dummy half, and he comes into the middle with Toby Adamson. Mariano in the tackle there. Richard Moore as well. Comes out to the right-hand side now with Luke Adamson, who's on the field for Dewsbury, and the kick comes in on the last from the halfway line, and it comes to Telepapu, who juggles with it in mid-air, but finally takes it, and it runs around the outside, shows it to Hardcastle, but doesn't give it, and takes it up 35 metres away from his own line, and it comes now to Hardcastle. over the 40. Corey Aston in at dummy half, gets it to Ian Harmon as Richard Moore is replaced by Darryl Griffin. Got through a lot of work as Richard Moore. Scott Turner in the middle of the field now with a charge. That's a good run from Scott Turner. Made some valuable metres forward for Featherstone Rovers. The 35 metres away from the Dewsbury line. Comes to Jason Walton now. Straight and direct is Jason Walton. It's the last. And there's the penalty given away by Tony Tonks and Aaron Brown there. What a coach killer that is on the last for Dewsbury.
Absolutely. On the last tackle, you've got Rovers pinned 25 metres out. You're going to force them to kick from, on an angle kick through. And instead you concede a penalty, which they're taking the 2. It's 23 metres out. We've got 16 and a half left on the clock. Rovers leading 16-4 at the minute, Joe.
This then, Aston looking to extend the lead further for the Rovers. They'll take them even further in front and further assert their dominance on this game. They do struggle, that Dewsbury defence, whenever Featherstone attacking the line. Desperation showing, and Aston taking the kick, sending it straight down the middle, putting Rovers 18 points in front, 18-4.
So Featherstone Rovers extending that lead with that Corey Aston penalty. Dewsbury giving that away on the last tackle after they've managed to contain Featherstone somewhat. So the kickoff comes from Dewsbury from Glover. It's a high one, but it's taken by Hardman. Hardman gives it to Griffin for his first touch of the ball this evening, and it's a decent drive in by Darryl Griffin. He takes it over the Featherstone 20. Looking for the quick play of the ball, but couldn't, and then the ball's juggled in the middle of the field there, and Jack Ormonroyd puts the ball to ground, and there's a little bit of handbags going on between Adamson and Griffin down there. Nothing really to write home about, not proper biff really, was it that?
No, not really, but disappointing for Rovers there. Turning possession over, maybe 2 or 3 tackles from the restart from that set, giving the Rams an opportunity to attack, as they did earlier on when they scored from the previous tackle there. Rovers need to be careful defensively here, Joe.
Tom Grant just having a chat there with Aaron Brown, it was, I think, who was involved, and saying just calm things down. You got the scrum. So Dewsbury with this putting scrum 22 metres away from the Featherstone line, and it comes to Dale Morton. He takes it up to 15 metres away. So Dewsbury looking lively here. Hemingway in at dummy half, goes it one way, and then eventually passes it the other to Lucas Walshaw. 8 metres short. Hemingway in at dummy half, gets it to Andy Kane. Andy Kane's showing it to several players before he passes it, and there's a little kick comes over, and it's going all over the place at the moment. It could be back to 1 for Dewsbury here, and it is. Referee confirms that. So Andy Kane with the ball. So Dewsbury going to get a full set of 6, 15 metres away from that Featherstone line. Sustained pressure for Dewsbury now with Egbenedian, who charges in, but he's halted by Griffin and Davis. And Lockwood plays the ball, comes across to the right-hand side to Andy Kane, who's been instrumental in all of Dewsbury's attacks at the moment. And the ball's flung out of the back, and the referee says play on. It comes to Kane. Kane gets it across to Walshaw. Walshaw pushing, trying to push Mariano and Walton off, but they hold him down 5 metres short. It comes across to Kane once again, lays it off. And that's good play by Dewsbury, keeping the ball alive. And it comes across to Egbenedian, who goes for the pass, but it comes off the Featherstone player. So it's another set of 6 for Dewsbury, as Morton gets tackled 15 metres away from the line. And now it's a Dewsbury penalty.
Well, an eventful couple of minutes there. Benny Ilfing tune going on in my head a couple of times. Dewsbury, though, they're not going out to go for the 2, it appears. Instead, they're going to take the tap and look to break through this Rovers line 8 again. Tony Tonksco taking the first drive. The referee bringing it back for the tap again, though.
Yeah, just a bit quick the referee wasn't set. So Tony Tonks yet again with his drive. 10 metres away from the Featherstone line. Dewsbury, this is about their third set that they've had against this Featherstone defence. Comes across now to Toby Adamson, who gets hauled down 5 metres short. Hemingway in at dummy half. It comes out to the right-hand side with Kane, who goes one way, goes the other. We talked about him trying to make something out of nothing, and that's what he was trying to do there, but he's still a couple of metres short. Dewsbury out to the right-hand side. They put a little kick in. Not sure if that was the best option. It's sailed. It's gone into touch as that little kick. It's going to be a Featherstone scrum on the 10, bit early in the tackle count, that.
Great defence, though, from Featherstone Rovers. Getting right up in the faces of the Dewsbury Rams. An early kick, the wrong option there for the Rams, that early in the tackle count. A disappointing way to end what was a great sustained spell of pressure on that Featherstone Rovers line. They'll be very disappointed with that, but Rovers can take heart from a great defensive effort.
So Featherstone with this scrum from the 10-metre line, and there's 12 minutes remaining in this first half. It's Featherstone Rovers 18, Dewsbury Rams 4. It comes into the middle with Scott Turner. But Turner's put on his back some question about how his legs went there. I don't think they went above the horizontal, so referee waves play on. James Lockwood now, the Dewsbury defence firming up a little bit. Featherstone find it difficult to break it down currently, but John Davis now on the charge on this Featherstone right hand three-quarter. Carlisle picks it up one-handed from dummy half and goes himself over that halfway line. It's the last tackle there. Featherstone Rovers and Aston in at dummy half with the kick, and that's a decent kick. It's going to go into the in-goal area, but it's just a little bit too strong as Matty Wilde comes on the field for Keele Carlisle.
Decent end to the set for the Rovers, really. Yeah, it gives Dewsbury that tap on the 20 metres and gives them the 7 tackles as that's coming this season. What a tackle there from Ormonroyd. In at marker, rushes round, and Dewsbury went no metres on that tackle.
Yeah, Ormonroyd making up for his little error earlier, perhaps, and great tackle there by him. Dewsbury on their own 40-metre line plays the ball. Hemingway lays off that pass, and they make it up to halfway. Brad Tagg's also come onto the field for Featherstone Rovers. Andy Kane showing it and letting Andy Kane play a little bit, and perhaps it ought to wrap him up a little bit better. And the ball's passed, but it was at Andy Kane's feet. And it's Matty Wilde who comes up with that ball gratefully for Featherstone Rovers on halfway line. Tyler Papa taking it forward. Dewsbury looked a tad offside there, but the referee's not penalised them for it. So Griffin on the charge. Featherstone 35 metres away from that Dewsbury line. Play the ball, it comes across to Thackeray. Thackeray to Hardman, who's coming to the line, and he holds up a nice one for Walton. Walton's going to go over. Walton's going to go over just to the left of the uprights for Featherstone Rovers.
Superb try from Featherstone Rovers, and it all goes back to a play the ball from Dewsbury, or a lost possession from Dewsbury, which Matty Wilde was so quick to pounce on. Fast forward a couple of tackles later, superb play from Hardman over on that left-hand side, finding the inside pass to Walton, and Walton able to get that ball down behind the sticks. Rovers stretch out further with 10 left in this first half. Featherstone Rovers 22, Dewsbury Rams 4.
Well, Featherstone then reassert in their dominance. Dewsbury are coming more and more into this game, but they've already shown in this match they can score from short range. They can set up a play to get over the line. They were finding their way over from a little bit longer out. Walton did well. He adapted, saw the defence, dragged outside to watch his winger, Scott Turner. He then knew there was space on that inside, and he fully exploited it.
Delightful pass from Ian Hardman as well. Just held it just to the right moment perfectly for Walton to come onto the charge. So full credit to Ian Hardman in the build-up to that try. So Corey Aston with the conversion attempt is successful. So Featherstone Rovers 24, Dewsbury Rams 4, with 9 minutes of this game remaining.
9 minutes of the first half remaining then here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Rovers in a great position at the moment with a 20-point cushion over Dewsbury. They'll be wanting to keep this Dewsbury team now, Scott, keep them out till half time, maybe get another try on the board as Talapapa takes that first drive in. But Rovers for now, Joe, Rovers surely want to keep the Rams scoreless.
Definitely, they've found their way over once in this half. They can't be letting them do it again.
So Featherstone Rovers just a couple of metres short of the 40-metre line. Will Dean at dummy half to Griffin to Thackeray. Thackeray out, it's coming out to the left to Walton. Walton out to Turner on that left-hand side. He's got a couple of people in attendance. Perhaps Walton could have held the pass up a little bit there before he let it go. Over to Turner. Comes to Thackeray now. Thackeray to Aston. Aston to Davis, running on the angle and strong like a bull. Davis is still going and he gets the ball away. And Wilkie does well to hold on to that ball. It's 12 metres short of the Dewsbury line. But there's some playing some exciting stuff here as Thackeray at dummy half gets it to Griffin. Griffin to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd on the last one to play the ball. Wildy looking to the left-hand side to Thackeray. Thackeray with a short pass to Walton, who goes to Turner. Turner's over in the left-hand side for his 100th career try and his 8th try this season.
Well, Featherstone are dangerous every time they're attacking that Dewsbury line at the moment. Thackeray puts the ball into Walton. Great little spin from Walton. He adapts beautifully, getting it out to his wingman, Scott Turner. Turner, always reliable, finishes over in that corner.
2 tries in 2 minutes for Featherstone Rovers, really turning up the gas at the minute. Superb player again from Walton. He's had a wow of the first half for Featherstone Rovers. Finding the man on the outside, Scott Turner had a gap to get through. He doesn't need much of a gap, but able to get through, get that ball down. And Rovers, like I say, we've got 7.5 left on the clock. It's now Featherstone Rovers 28, Dewsbury Rams 4.
So Corey Aston with a conversion attempt from the left-hand side. It's going to be a difficult one for him to take. Over on that left-hand touchline. Really exciting play from Featherstone Rovers, though, in that build-up to that try. Really great to watch as a Featherstone Rovers fan. So Aston now just measuring as the Featherstone Rovers players get applause as they take their positions from the appreciative Featherstone Rovers fans. Aston now strikes the ball. It's going to pull up short. There is this kick, I believe, and it certainly does. Just didn't have the legs on it, that conversion attempt. So it remains Featherstone Rovers 28, Dewsbury Rams 4 with 7 minutes of this first half remaining.
Featherstone Rovers are looking really good at the moment. Every time they've been in that Dewsbury Rams attacking third, the red zone, if you like, as they call it in the NRL, they've looked dangerous. They've scored points on numerous occasions, and Dewsbury at the minute just can't cope with it, Joe.
They'll be able to cope with it all match, man. Every time Featherstone are in that area, the try looks almost certain.
Glover with a lower kick-off that time, and it was a decent kick-off. Hardman had to trap it behind his own try line, and he brings it over the 10-metre, plays the ball, and it comes into the middle with Darryl Griffin. Darryl Griffin is tackled, though, by Igmanedian and Luke Adamson for Dewsbury. Comes to Ormonroyd now. Ormonroyd opening his legs and charging forwards there is Jack Ormonroyd and gets hauled down just short of the 40. It comes into the middle with Brad Tagg. Tagg fighting his way through. His strong player is Tagg, and he's fighting his way against those Dewsbury defenders. And it comes to Aston now on this right-hand side with Hardman, who's coming to the line. Hardman takes it over the Dewsbury 40. Just gets tackled, pushed back onto that 40-metre line. He's on his back. It's the last tackle. It comes to Aston. Aston hoists a kick over to that left-hand side. It's a tricky one to take, and Glover doesn't, and Turner comes in with it and scores in the left-hand corner for Featherstone Rovers. That extends Featherstone Rovers' lead to 32 points to 4.
What a spectacular finish from Turner. That try comes out of nowhere, kick into the air, and Dewsbury's had no chance of dealing with it. Just talk about it again, though. What a sublime finish.
Unbelievable finish from Scott Turner there for Featherstone Rovers for his second try in 3 minutes. It was an unearthly kick. Hung down with snow ice, you name it, he had it on the ball. The bounce was horrible. Dewsbury just could not cope with that at all. But Scott Turner still had so much to do. And a superb finish to get that ball down. And Rovers at the minute, with 5 minutes left, are in complete control. With 32 points to 4, Joanne.
They certainly are, and yes, great kick by Corey Aston. It was a high, towering kick. It was spinning. James Glover just did not look confident at all as he was attempting to take that kick, and he made just totally misread it. Scott Turner came up with it and leapt into the corner. He says, "Missy Talapapa, you can do Superman. I can do Superman too." So Corey Aston, with almost identical conversion attempt as to the previous Turner try. On that left-hand touch line. He boots the ball. He's got more legs on it this time, but it's not got the right direction, and he unfortunately cannot add the extras. So it's Featherstone Rovers 32, Dewsbury Rams 4, with 4 minutes of play of this first half remaining.
The way Turner finished that try, it looked like he was practicing finishes in the corner. It looked perfectly set the way he did it.
So Glover with the kick-off. It comes to Hardman, who traps it. He bobbles around and manages to finally gain control of that ball. It comes to Griffin. Griffin takes it to the 10. Comes to Talapapa, who's come for a bit of action in the middle now. He takes it up to the 20. Wildy in at dummy half to Walton, but Dewsbury defending quick on Walton. So he's tackled. Comes to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd strong, but the ball is lost out of his grasp. So it's Dewsbury who come up with it, and it's a free play. So Squires puts the kick in, but Hardman takes it. So it's going to be brought back for a scrum. Ormonroyd just not able to. He was driving forward. He was just not able to keep hold of that ball, could he, Ben?
No, disappointing there from the Rovers' point of view. Rovers not able to complete that first set again after the try. That's the second time that's happened in this half. The Rams on the free play, no real advantage taken. The kick over the top was a nothing kick, really. I think they wanted the scrum set more than the free play. But what a first half we've seen today from Featherstone Rovers. Absolutely superb effort going down that hill, rolling down, and Dewsbury just can't cope, Joanne.
They say they can't, but Dewsbury with some valuable possession from their point of view at the moment. So they're in the Featherstone 40. It's been a quite rare foray for them into this Featherstone territory, as Featherstone have been so dominant in this first half. Hemingway now comes over to the right-hand side with Kane, but Dewsbury put the ball to ground. It's with Morton. It's been the story of their afternoon, really, hasn't it, Ben?
It has. Again, another mistake from the Dewsbury Rams. They had a good chance of possession there. Territory try and pin Rovers back, force a repeat set in the dying embers of the half, but not able to do so. And now Jason Walton showing his strength to get away from 3 or 4 men, and he's tackled a couple of metres shy of the 40.
And it's been good to see Jason Walton and Mariano coming through this first half looking pretty strong. Walton put some really strong drives in. Anyway, it comes across to Davis. Davis to Talapapa on the charge. But good credit to the Dewsbury defence there, who got Talapapa to the ground. Davis now into the middle with Hardman. Hardman to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd lays it off to Mariano. Mariano he tried to get it to Hardman, but Morton intercepted the ball. Could have been a Featherstone try. Andy Kane gets wrapped up. So that is the end of the first half here at Featherstone Rovers. It's 32 points to 4 in Featherstone Rovers' favour, and nearly an extra try at the death there of the first half, Ben.
They would have deserved it as well, Trav, for the way that they played in this first half. It was a great break again through the middle of the field. The pass though to the Rovers player on the attack. They just couldn't get the Rams defender able to get in the way. Snuff that chance out, but it's been a real dominant performance this first half, Joe.
Definitely. Every time Featherstone are up in Dewsbury's end of the field, they look like they're almost certain to come away with points. By contrast, Dewsbury can't break out of their half on the majority of sets. It's only through Featherstone mistakes that they're ever getting any opportunity. That's the only reason they've scored in this game.
Massive applause from the Featherstone Rovers fans here this evening for the players as they go for a rest in that dressing room at half-time. What do you think John Sharp's words will be to Featherstone Rovers in that dressing room?
John Sharp will be a happy man in that dressing room. The key thing for me, we said it with about 10 minutes to go, how important it was for Featherstone Rovers to keep the Dewsbury to just that one try. And they've done that, so that'll be a target he sent out, I fancy, with 10 minutes left. The next target for me is got to take it in spells of 10 minutes, keep the Rams scoreless for the first 10 minutes and go forward at a time like that. Points difference has got to be in the back of his mind as well now. With a 28 points up already today, if we can get a similar tally of points in the second half, what could that do for our points difference, Joe?
Definitely, points difference is key when you're in front in a match like this, in terms of keeping the team going, keeping them at that 100%. Most important thing, though, to me is there was a little bit of an altercation that Darryl Griffin got involved in when there was a scrum in Featherstone territory. Got to stay out of any funny business in this game, because other than that, the Robs are in control.
They are in control. Completion rate must have pleased John Sharp as well. I think I only remember one or maybe two errors creeping into the game in that first half, so nothing to write home about. Featherstone just so dominant in that first half. Good to see, putting Featherstone in good stead for that trip to Blackpool next Saturday in the sun and the sea.
Yeah, Rovers, it's important that they get a good result today to keep that momentum going. We said in the build-up to this, they've got, I think, 7 wins on the bounce coming into today. If they can continue that momentum and get a good result today, they'll go into next week in Blackpool full of confidence.
They will. There's another half left here, though, at the LD Nutrition Stadium. So it's Featherstone Rovers 32, Dewsbury Rams 4. Join us in a few moments for that second half. Welcome back to the LD Nutrition Stadium. The team's coming back out onto the pitch. We've just had a dance-off. It's Saturday Night Fever, of course, here at Featherstone Rovers. We just had a dance-off between Percy the Pit Pony and one of the Featherstone Rovers fans, and the fan won. Kept us entertained at half-time here. So Dewsbury, they're going to be kicking off first in this second half. An uphill struggle for them, Joe.
Yeah, they've really got it all to do in this half. And that's why Featherstone have just got to be careful not to get rattled and not to be drawn into anything. Because when heads go, like you'd expect in that Dewsbury team, it can become a scrappy match.
It certainly can. So the kickoff comes from Dewsbury. It's a high one. And it's trapped. And Featherstone haven't been able to collect that. Dewsbury collect it, I do believe. Although the referee's given a knock-on, I think it'll be first knock-on from Featherstone. So Dewsbury are going to get this scrum on the Featherstone. Oh, no, it's a Featherstone put-in.
Rovers will take that. A horrible kick-off it was from Dewsbury Rams. Matthew Wilde, it bounced horribly off his shins.
And we've got some dissent now there from Dewsbury to the referee. So it's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. So that's an even better outcome for them. Unfair for Dewsbury, really, because Featherstone didn't deal with that kick-off whatsoever, did they? No. Jason Walton takes a very quick tap there. Just short of the halfway line, Wildian at dummy half. It comes into Thackeray. Thackeray to Griffin. Griffin on the charge. Towards that Dewsbury 40. Wants to play the ball. Wildy now to the left to Thackeray. Thackeray misses out Mariano and it goes to Walton. Walton with no number on his back in this second half. He's changed his jersey. And Andy Kane messing around with Jason Walton there in the ruck, stopping him playing the ball quickly, so the referee's given a penalty to Featherstone.
Featherstone, from such an awful way to start this half. They're now in a great position, and we saw in the first half, when they're in this kind of position, they come away with points. Ormonroyd sucks all that defence in with a thundering run.
So Featherstone 10 metres away from that Dewsbury line. It comes across to Thackeray. Thackeray to Aston. Aston holds it up a little bit to Hardman, who juggled with the ball. So he lost a little bit of momentum there. And he gets hauled down 8 metres short. Davies in at dummy half now to Aston. Aston to Tag. Tonks wrestles Tag to the floor, though. Wildy to Thackeray, over to this left-hand side, and Walton in on the angle. Featherstone still held out by the Dewsbury defence, the 5 metres short. Wildy to Griffin, Griffin to Aston. Aston again, pulled down short, it's the last tackle. It's a bit of a slow play of the ball, a bit of a mess in at the dummy half, and Thackeray now to the kick to the left to Turner. Turner does well to reach that ball, passes it in the field, but Dewsbury come up with that ball, so they and it's a knock-on that's being given there. So yeah, it's a turnover to Dewsbury because it was on the last. So I think it was a forward pass, was it, from Scott Turner when he did put the ball into the field of play.
The kick from Corey Aston there, just a little bit too high from Scott Turner, who had to reach to take that ball. As on his attempt to get the ball back in field, the ball went forward. So on the last tackle, that is a turnover, and the Rams now bringing the ball out from their own 20.
So it is Featherstone Rovers 32, Dewsbury Rams 4. Just 4 minutes of play gone in this second half here on this Saturday evening game at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Tony Tonks taking it forward to the 30-metre line. He's driving his legs. Featherstone in attendance to him, though, with Talapapa, Davis and Orman Royd. Adamson now on that left-hand side. Sorry, it's not Adamson, it's Billy Hayes. Do apologise. Comes into the middle. And the ball's driven forward. That's a good drive there. I think that could be Adamson over the halfway line for Dewsbury. Ball is played. It comes out to the left-hand side, and the kick comes in from Dom Speakman. Just holds up for Ian Hardman, who puts a pass, a speculative pass into the centre of the field to Scott Turner, who beats the first on-rushing Dewsbury Rams defenders to take it up to the Featherstone 20.
Tell you what, I think Scott Turner's trying to recreate Missy Talapapa's highlights reel, because trying to keep the ball in play there, that unbelievable finish in the first half. Featherstone there earning the penalty. Hardcastle also being a difficult man to tackle. It's like kind of team of Talapapas out there.
Yeah, disappointing for Dewsbury there to concede that penalty. Rovers in a good position, or they had Rovers pinned back, in a good position to try and make them work from deep, but conceding the penalty, giving Rovers cheap yards to get that ball upfield.
Dewsbury just making a change there. Robbie Ward entering the field for Dewsbury. So Featherstone, just a bit of a slow take of this penalty. There were 2 balls on the field. Davis kicked one off. Orman Royd kicked one off, and we've got no balls now. And then the ball boy kicks another one. And then another comes from the other ball boy, so we've got 2 balls again.
We have one more. This will be like Wimbledon.
New balls, please. So Thackeray eventually is going to take this kick to touch. Another comedy moment. We've had a couple in this game.
So we've technically still got 2 balls on the field, as that one hasn't been taken off. We hope it comes of nothing, and probably won't. Wildy, though, coming away with the ball there. Davis couldn't quite get hold of it. And Dewsbury are gonna, looks like they've knocked on it, so Featherstone will get away with that. They're going to have possession just inside Dewsbury's 40 metres.
Tom Hemingway going for the interception there for Dewsbury. Just unlucky not to catch that ball cleanly, because he would have been away if he had have got it. The ball didn't reach Davis, and Hemingway did put the ball to ground there. So Featherstone Rovers with this scrum comes out the back to Thackeray. And Thackeray misses Hardman. They got that angle wrong, but Hardman manages to evade Brown's first attempt to tackle him. So just lost a little bit of ground. They're just over that Dewsbury 40. Mariano now with the ball. Wildy in at dummy half. It comes into the middle with Tag. Tag straightens up and plays the ball quickly. That's a good play of the ball to Wildy, to Griffin. Griffin's gone into the centre where there's some room for him to take the ball forward, and he takes it 8 metres short of the line. Great run by Darryl Griffin, and it comes across to the right. And it's on the inside to Jack Orman Royd, who spins, tries to get over that try line, but Dewsbury just hold him out, and it's the last tackle for Featherstone Rovers. Plays the ball, Wildy with the pass to Thackeray. Thackeray misses out. Mariano to Hardman to Walton. Walton's going to go in for a try for his second try of this evening. So Featherstone Rovers with the first points in the second half. It's Featherstone Rovers 36, Dewsbury Rams 4.
Fantastic play from Featherstone Rovers there. The ball driven in by Darryl Griffin, first of all. And then it was a great drive from Griffin to get Rovers 5 metres away. Jack Ormondroyd then had a try as well. He was held up short. The ball then swung out to the left. The Dewsbury Rams defence again sucked in to create the space there for Jason Walton. The pass from Ian Hardman timed to perfection. Had acres of space to get over for the try. Great play from Featherstone Rovers, Joe.
Definitely, I'm not sure Jason Walton scored an easier try than that in his life. Put forward with absolutely bags of room, but we've spoke about the fact that this Dewsbury defence is very much stacking in to deal with the firepower in that Featherstone team. So when they're able to swing it out wide quickly through hands, there's space to be exploited there, and exploited they did. Aston then lining up this kick over on the far left touchline. It's another difficult one, but it is on his better side. Looks up to the posts, goes towards the ball, strikes his foot through it, but he's dragged it over to the left. Unsuccessful kick there from Aston. So it's Featherstone Rovers 36, Dewsbury Rams 4.
So Featherstone Rovers extending that lead further, 36 points to 4, 8 minutes of this second half gone. Still plenty of time for Featherstone to put more scores on this scoreboard. Would be nice if they did get a good score today. Going to be Dale Morton who kicks off for Dewsbury. Here it comes, and it's a high kick, and Thackeray's underneath it, and he takes it well, lays it off to Brad Tagg. Brad Tagg takes it over the 20-metre line, where he meets the Dewsbury tacklers. Plays the ball, it comes to Ormondroyd. Ormondroyd further 10 metres forward for Featherstone Rovers, up to that 30. Now to Griffin. Featherstone Rovers forwards taking that ball away from the Featherstone line. They're driving them up the field, and Brad Tagg once again makes it over the 40 on the fourth tackle. Wildy kicks on that fourth, and he puts it through into space, and it's been chased down by Talapapa. It's a great kick by Wildy. It holds up in that in-goal area, and the Featherstone chase is good, and they're pushing the Dewsbury player back, and it's going to be a dropout. So great play by Featherstone Rovers on the last there, on the fourth tackle even from Wildy with that kick.
Outstanding play from Featherstone Rovers. The kick from Matthew Wildy was judged to absolute perfection, holding up actually on that Dewsbury Lambs try line, making them have to bring that ball back. And the chase was equally as good. 3 men chasing that kick down, able to tackle Dewsbury behind the line, force a panic pass into touching goal. Great play from Featherstone Rovers, Joe.
Great play, an unbelievable chase too. What a terrifying prospect it must be to have a winger in the form of Missy Talapapa coming at you. Don't want to be running through him. Wildy then sends the ball inside Ormondroyd. Ormondroyd, a forceful runner, but couldn't get through the Dewsbury defence on that occasion. The ball comes left, then Aston swings it out to Thackeray. Thackeray gives it to Mariano. Perfect pick pass from Thackeray, and Mariano saunters over the line to give Featherstone Rovers yet another try.
That pass from Corey Anthony Thackeray, absolutely perfect. The delay, the timing of the pass was superb. The angle that Mariano ran was absolutely superb. Straight into open space, and Rovers coming up the hill. They might as well still be going down the hill. We've only had 10 minutes in the second half, and Featherstone Rovers already. It's 40 points to 4 with a kick to come, Joanne.
Yeah, and this kick is under the post, so Aston will undoubtedly add the extras here. Mariano and Walton bringing so much extra back to this Featherstone Rovers squad. You know, it was heartbreaking to see Alunya and Briscoe injured last week, but what adequate replacements, more than adequate replacements, Mariano and Walton are for those injuries.
real strike players over on this left side, and if they can be put one-on-one, then you fancy their chances against the defender. Aston puts that ball safe as you like through the centre of the sticks, extending that Rovers lead further. But yeah, Mariano over on this left side with Walton, a frightening prospect for any defence, being picked so well by the halfbacks, though Anthony Thackeray knows that if he puts them one-on-one, they're going to find a way through. On that occasion, Mariano didn't even have a man to beat.
Dewsbury looking disconsolate as they come to this halfway line to take this kick-off. Totally getting dominated this evening by Featherstone Rovers, our Dewsbury Rams. And the kick-off comes. Dewsbury players offside at that kick-off, but referee, just not seen it. And Thackeray catches the ball, passes it to Griffin, who takes it forward 12 metres away from his own line. It comes to Ormonroyd. Not sure if he was ready for that then. He looked surprised when he caught that ball. Quick play the ball. It comes to Davis. Davis out to Talapapa, who does a showcase pass, let's say, but unfortunately it went into touch past Josh Hardcastle. So Dewsbury are going to get a scrum 25 metres away from that Featherstone line.
Yeah, when the confidence is flowing through this team like Featherstone Rovers it is at the moment, they're the sort of things that you'd expect to stick. But Talapapa over on that far side, Hardcastle and Talapapa have switched sides. Hardcastle out on that wing would just overran that offload from Talapapa and the ball into touch. So Rovers not completing the first set from a try, and the Rams now 25 metres out driving for those sticks.
So Adamson there with the ball. Toby Adamson, that is 20 metres out. And Dewsbury playing the ball quickly there. And it comes to Morton. Morton looking for a gap through, but he's brought down by Talapapa 5 metres short. So Dewsbury attacking that Featherstone Rovers line. And the ball's laid off now to Billy Hayes. Featherstone Rovers defence is resolute and gets him to the floor. So the ball comes now into the middle, and Adamson looks to offload, but Thackeray prevents that from happening. It's the last tackle, and the ball's taken quickly. It's played quickly, and is held up over the line. Is Dom Speakman as he went to score that try. It was a quick play of the ball, but he did get held up over the line, did Speakman.
I thought it was over there, Joe. I thought the Rovers' defence would be a little complacent, but they were able to scramble, ensure he was held up, and now they're bringing out from their own 10 metres. Brad Tagg to take the first one up. He's met by two defenders, though.
So it's Featherstone Rovers 42, Dewsbury Rams 4. 26 minutes of this game remaining. Plenty of time in this game for Featherstone to extend their lead and put the points on the board. Daryl Griffin now 30 metres away from his own line. Plays the ball. It comes to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd takes it forward a further 10 metres. Comes to Davis now. Quick play of the ball that was, and Wildy with a short pass to Davis. He pushes off the Dewsbury players first. Then he gets the pass away to Tagg. Tagg over the halfway line, and the penalty comes to Featherstone Rovers. And I think Toby Adamson not happy with that penalty that was given against him there. It was for a head-high shot.
Excellent work, though, from John Davis. So over on that right-hand side for Featherstone Rovers, bouncing off the tackle, bringing that ball in field, creating a chance for more yards to be made forward, leading up to that penalty. And it's just easy metres for Featherstone Rovers. And here goes Talapapa on the charge. He's up to the 20 now. Quick play the ball. And Rovers are attacking that Dewsbury line, but the ball's knocked on, Joe.
Yeah, Matty Wildy there with the knock-on. Has Talapapa driven the ball forward? It was a quick play of the ball, and Wildy knocks on 15 metres away from the Dewsbury line. So not completed that set. Dewsbury going to get the put in at the scrum here.
Yeah, Featherstone really looked dangerous on the attack there. Cough up possession, unfortunately. Just look at the way John Davis ran that ball in down the right and came away, though. It's got such a threatening running style. Runs it in really hard, bounces off the defence. Then manages to get this handoff out to come away, keep possession of the ball, keep the play going. Finds Brad Tagg on his inside, and Featherstone earned a penalty off the back of that. He's a really dangerous runner.
Floodlights have come on here at the LD Nutrition Stadium just as the sun sets in Featherstone. Dewsbury going to get this put in, like I say, just a break in play at the moment while a Dewsbury player gets some attention from the physio.
Sunset in Featherstone sounds like the worst murder mystery novel I've ever read.
Oh, dear me. We've had 15 minutes of the second half here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Still Featherstone Rovers 42, Dewsbury Rams 4, as the Rams now are going to feed this scrum, Joanne.
Because scrum takes it forward over the 20-metre line, gets the ball away to Dewsbury, and caught Featherstone a little bit napping in defence there as they managed to get that offload off, but Featherstone recover with Davis and Mariano and Thackeray and get Dewsbury down, and Adamson now taking it towards the 40-metre. Get something out of this game. They're still playing and they're looking for the offload there, but that's good play on Walshaw. He was trying to get the offload, but Mariano and Griffin just a little bit too slow to release Lucas Walshaw there, and they're penalised for that. So Dewsbury are going to get into the Featherstone half with this tap just short of the 40-metre line.
There is a lot of Walshaw to let go of. I think his calf's bigger than me.
So ball comes into the middle now. 35 metres away from the Featherstone line, and that's a good run, but the ball goes forward off Mariano. It's back to 1 for Dewsbury as Luke Adamson is crushed to the floor by some good tackling by Tag and Turner. Dewsbury going forward now with Jody Sharif. 20 metres away from that Featherstone line, trying to bring a bit of urgency, inject some urgency into their attack. Dewsbury now as they get the ball away on that left-hand side. Sean Squires, though, and he's tackled well, though, by Talapapa and Davis. 10 metres away from the Featherstone line, into the middle with Billy Hayes. Hayes 5 metres short. It comes into the middle. And Speakman holds the ball up for Adamson, but that's great defence by Featherstone Rovers with Mariano and Griffin in attendance. And Adamson gets to his feet gingerly, and the ball's played across to the right-hand side. It's the last tackle now, but there's a penalty on that last tackle given away by Featherstone Rovers. So just a little bit of indiscipline creeping into the Featherstone game at the moment as Dewsbury try and attack that line.
What a time to concede the penalty. Tight to your own line on that last tackle, offering Dewsbury another 6 tackles to attack that Rovers line.
Featherstone Rovers trying to make a substitution. They're trying to bring Cooper back onto the field, and Dewsbury close to this Featherstone line at the moment, and no way through at the moment for Dewsbury as they go forward, and there's a little kick comes from Hemingway, though, and that looks as though Sean Squires has managed to touch that ball down. I was saying there was no way through for them, but Hemingway managed to find that with that little grubber kick, and it came up for Sean Squires, I do believe, to score that try for Dewsbury. Featherstone Rovers 42, Dewsbury Rams 8.
Very unfortunate for the Rovers there. Dewsbury, no matter what they threw at them, couldn't find a way through the line. Eventually, though, the crubber kick is the one that manages to unlock the door. Running game, there was no way to find a way through, but the bounce of the ball just isn't favourable for the Rovers.
Yeah, good try for Dewsbury Rams there. It was a good kick through in between the lines of that Rovers defence, as Rovers do make that double change now. Ormond, Droyd and Griffin come off, and back on come Richard Moore and Luke Cooper. So Rovers bringing the changes, but disappointing there for Rovers to concede that try. And we've got 21 and a half left on the clock. And it's Featherstone Rovers 42, Dewsbury Rams 8.
And like I was saying, Billy Mallinson below as he was screaming at the RFL commissioner as James Glover's just coming in for this conversion attempt. And he's got it, so that brings up the double figures for Dewsbury Rams. It's Featherstone Rovers 42, Dewsbury Rams 10, with 21 minutes of this game remaining. As I was saying, Billy Mallinson was screaming at the the RFL official to try and get those substitutes on before that play. I think they could see that Griffin and Ormonroyd were tiring in defence and they just needed them on to shore it up, but didn't come on in time, and Hemingway breached them with that grubber kick. The other thing that I have noticed is that the loose forward Aaron Brown seems to have sped things up in the Dewsbury attack somewhat, and he's causing the Featherstone defence a bit of problem out there. This kickoff comes now, and it's taken well by Dewsbury on their own try line, and they bring it up. There's Tagg and Cooper and Davis in attendance. There were the Dewsbury attacker Sharif now. Sharif driving his legs forward, and he manages to get the ball away. It's a penalty for a ball steal, in fact. So Featherstone just getting caned a little bit in the penalty count in the last 5 minutes or so, Joe.
Yeah, really inviting pressure upon themselves. You don't know if that's just a bit of complacency slipping into the match. They know they've got the result tied up.
So Dewsbury now with that tap from the penalty. They're on the Featherstone 40. Sharif in the middle of the field. Takes it forward. Goes another 5 metres before he's brought down by Wildy and Davis. And ball's been passed across to the right-hand side, and Glover on this right wing. There's cries of forward from the Featherstone fans, and nothing given though, and Walton brings Glover down 20 metres away from the Featherstone line. It comes into the middle of the field now with Aaron Ullett. Takes it up to the 10. And the ball comes across to the left. That man Brown in there again with Speakman, but Speakman's pulled to the floor by John Davis, and it's the last tackle for Dewsbury, and there's a little kick by Morton, but that's taken well by Corey Aston, and he gratefully catches that ball. And Featherstone with a little bit of time with ball in hand, which they've not had for the last 5 minutes. Billy Mallinson's on the field issuing instructions to Featherstone as Talapapa does well. He takes the ball forward and then even gets the ball away to Ian Harmon. So Featherstone making valuable metres forward there. Josh Hardcastle now driving the ball forward as James Lockwood comes onto the field for Brad Tagg. Richard Moore now with ball in hand, takes it over the 40 for Featherstone. So still in their own half at the moment. Misses out Lockwood, goes to Thackeray to Mariano. So Wildy now with that kick on the last. It goes central towards the 10-metre line, the Dewsbury 10-metre. It's picked up, though, by Dewsbury. But there's a good Featherstone chase there, and they actually push the Dewsbury player back towards that 10-metre line. It's Dale Morton that they push back. So Dewsbury, it was a good chase by Featherstone Rovers.
Yeah, great kick over there from Matthew Wilder, splitting the two players who had dropped back, making them come in field, making the Dewsbury Rams work to bring that ball out, which they are now doing on their own 30. But Rovers now need a good defensive set, a clean defensive set, as Robbie Ward tried to sneak a few yards there. Mariano slow to get to his feet. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Not sure if he's got a bit of cramp out there. Mariano is being brought to the sideline as Featherstone are penalised yet again there. You said it, Joe, didn't you, at half-time? It's important that Featherstone do keep the discipline, and Ian Hardman's being called out by Tom Grant. In terms of that tackle, the Dewsbury player is still on the floor. So Ian Hardman being called out by the referee. Referee's just having a chat with him because Featherstone have conceded quite a few penalties on the bounce here. Physio just checking the Dewsbury player out. He gets to his feet, though.
The Featherstone squad already being tested. They could definitely do with not losing anymore, whether that be through suspension or injury. Referee takes the clock off then, and the Featherstone line's got to be tested here. Squires to run the ball in, but he's met by Davis and Talapapa. You won't get any further meters out of them.
So it comes across to the left here. Mariano has left the field. Ormonroyd's come on for him. It looked as though he was struggling a little bit at that last play, so out of safety reasons, I think they've taken him off, and perhaps a bit of cramp. It's his first game back after an extended spell on the sidelines. So Dewsbury now with the ball. It's coming across to Morton. Jason Walton meets Morton there and gets him to the ground, crashes him to the ground, and it's coming out to the right now to James Glover, who knocks on. It was actually in space with James Glover out here on that right-hand side. If the pass had been a little bit better to him, it could have been in for a try there.
Glover was in there. The gap was there. The try line was begging. It just couldn't take that ball in to utilise the space that it had. A let-off again for Featherstone Rovers. They need to be careful here. We've still got 16 minutes left here. A 42-10 lead for the Rovers. It's a good lead, this, but they need to be careful not to concede any more points.
Just lost the way a little bit of Featherstone Rovers, I feel, in this last 10 minutes. You know, started the second half well, and that's a penalty against Featherstone Rovers for moving off the mark at the play the ball. 12 metres away from their own line, and Jason Walton comes off the field for Featherstone. So the two injury returnees have been replaced now. They've had a good stint against Dewsbury. No use risking them as Dewsbury drive towards that line. So Featherstone Rovers, like I say, being caned in the penalty count in this second half. So Dewsbury looking to go themselves there with Robbie Ward from dummy half, but he's going to get tackled over the line on his back. So it's going to be brought back to the 10-metre for a play the ball, Joe.
Yeah, Dewsbury really hammering at the Rovers line here, desperately trying to get through. Time short for them, but they won't want to be hurt on the points difference. Oh, the ball inside. Lockwood comes away with it, though. He's trying to break a field, gets the ball away to Fackery. Fackery's got more legs, but he's got more men around him too. Hold to the ground. He's going to play it, though, 40 metres out. Lockwood at the foot of the ruck. Sends it inside to Hardman. Hardman to Aston. Gets it away to Davis. Davis gives it to Talapapa. Talapapa down that right flank. Can't quite find a way through, and he's going to play it 20 metres out.
It comes to Davis now. Davis on the charge. Davis 5 metres away. Dewsbury have managed to get their defensive ranks back, and there's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. Ironic cheers from the Featherstone Rovers fans. They feel like they've not had a penalty for a very long time, and the Featherstone on the benefit of the referee's whistle there for a slow play the ball, so they wouldn't get off the ruck, wouldn't Dewsbury. So Featherstone Rovers driving it towards the Dewsbury post now with Ormond Royd. He's 5 metres out. It comes across to the right. Aston with a bouncing pass out to that right-hand side as Featherstone Rovers go in on that right-hand side with Josh Hardcastle.
Easy as you like for Featherstone Rovers. When it's going your way, it's going your way. Even with a pass on the bounce from Corey Aston. A walkover in the corner for Josh Hardcastle. But that try coming about, all from the intercept from James Lockwood and the supporting play of Anthony Thackeray to get that position in the first place. Forward a couple of tackles, and Rovers really tight, turning the screw here. We've got 13 and a half left on the clock, Joe. Featherstone Rovers 46, Dewsbury Rams 10.
Legend has it that at some point in Josh Hardcastle's life, he played a match and he didn't score a try. Sounds unbelievable to me, though.
Yeah, Josh Hardcastle there. The try-scoring machine is in double figures now. I think he's just earned himself the accolade of Featherstone Rovers' highest try scorer this season, the leading try scorer. Corey Aston with another touchline conversion attempt for him, this time on the right-hand side touchline. And this ball just sails wide of the upright, so not gone over for him. So it's still Featherstone Rovers 46, Dewsbury Rams 10. 12 minutes remaining in this game. I think that's my prediction blown out of the water. Did I say 42-10? I do believe before the game.
And I said 38, so we're both wrong. Rovers 46-10. There's still 12 and a half minutes left on this clock. Rovers will be looking for that 50 points. to get that points tally up, to get that points difference moving, and this will give them a lot of confidence, Joe, going into next week in Blackpool.
Definitely a good positive result can mean the world for the momentum. That must be the easiest offside decision I think I've ever seen.
Finally, the referee's seen Danny Benedian. I think he was nearly on the Featherstone 40 when that ball was kicked off there. So
I thought Featherstone had made a mid-season loan signing. He was that far into the Featherstone half. He looked all set to receive that kick-off.
So Thackeray now with this kick to touch from halfway. Goes into touch 35 metres away from the Dewsbury line. So the tap's taken quickly by that try scorer. The double try scorer, Josh Hardcastle, this evening. Comes across to Aston. Aston to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd takes it forward in the middle of the field. 15 metres away from the line. It comes across now to Aston again. Aston with a short pass to Luke Cooper. Luke Cooper. It's a forward pass. Called back for a forward pass. So unlucky. Luke Cooper fully deserved that try there. It looked like a sublime little pass from Aston, but it was deemed forward.
Oh, so unlucky for Luke Cooper. The pass just delayed slightly too long. But Luke Cooper on 9 there for a great... I'm not sure if that was his first try of the season, if it had been given. But Rovers there deemed forward, so a let-off for the Rams. But Rovers really are turning the screw at the minute.
And it's the second try Luke Cooper's had disallowed, I do believe, so I must think he's really unlucky at the moment. So Dewsbury now with the ball in hand, playing the ball on the 20-metre line and taking it forward. Featherstone Rovers in attention, though. Comes into the middle to Tony Tonks, who's re-entered the field. Tag Lockwood into tackle Tonks with Wildy. There's a short pass there to Adamson. Adamson looks to offload the ball. He gets away with it. It was a risky pass, but I guess that's Dewsbury have nothing to lose at the minute. It's the 5th tackle. Richard Moore on the floor, and it's with Adamson, and he was with Ward, sorry, and he was looking up to get penalised there. Was Richard Moore. Morton puts a high kick up. Josh Hardcastle takes it very well, though. It was a high swirling kick from Morton. Takes it very well on his own 20, and Talapapa now from dummy half with that strong drive goes a further 12 metres forward.
Richard Moore very fortunate there, I feel. Featherstone then bringing the ball inside. It's the try scorer. Hardcastle gets the ball away. Wildy looks to pick it up, but Tony Tonks flashes an arm in there. I think this is going to be scrum down head and feet to the Rovers.
I think you're right, it is head and feet there to the Rovers. A Dewsbury player getting a hand to that ball. So, head and feet to Rovers on their own 40. We've got 9.5 minutes left. It's 46-10 to the Rovers. And I fancy, Joe, some of these fans might want 50.
Yeah, we'd love 50. Attendance here this evening, it's 2,030 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium against the Dewsbury Rams. So Featherstone with the ball from this scrum with Ian Hardman taking it forward, and Luke Cooper now on the next phase of play takes it over the halfway line. Luke Cooper so unlucky not to have that try given before. Richard Moore now on the drive, but he gets pushed back by a good Dewsbury defence. The ball comes out to Thackeray. Thackeray with the pass to Tag. Tag taking on Igbenedian. But two more Dewsbury players coming attention, and finally Holt, Brad Tag and Thackeray now with that short pass to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd 15 metres shorter. It's the last tackle for Featherstone Rovers. It's coming onto that right-hand side with Aston. Aston shows it, but he gets hauled down. It was the last tackle. Richard Moore's putting his arms up saying, what were you doing there? Perhaps he didn't realise it was the last there, Joe.
No, taking that drive in was an unusual decision. Jason Walton announced as the sponsors man of the match. He's been a threat all day.
He has, yes, Loco Energy Drink, the man of the match sponsor, and they've chosen Jason Walton. It'd be good for him to have that on his return, but Dewsbury almost away. Ormonroyd hauls the player down, and but he's still not tackled. He takes it over to the halfway line there to Dewsbury. So that was good play there. The ball's playing now. It comes to Tony Tonks. So it was a good break there from the try scorer, Lewis Fairhurst for Dewsbury. Good tackle by Wildy there on Speakman. And the ball's spilled there by Aaron Ollett. Dewsbury frustrated by that. After that good break from Lewis Fairhurst, he managed to get away from the Featherstone defence, put Dewsbury in a good position, but then Ollett comes up with the error.
All the Dewsbury heads went down as soon as that ball hit the ground then. Another good attacking opportunity there for the Rams that they're not able to take. So Rovers with 7 minutes left. And the other thing that's impressed me as well in this second half is we've not seen the return of Keil Carlisle in this second half. Still on the bench from his withdrawal in the first half. So he's a key player for Rovers, but Rovers have shown that they've got options in that position, Joe.
So Josh Hardcastle now 5 metres short of halfway. Talapapa in at dummy half, and he's taking the Dewsbury forwards on himself. Goes another 10 metres forward with that drive. Wildy in at dummy half to Davis. Davis takes it himself and he spins, gets it back to Talapapa. Talapapa up to the 30-metre line. Featherstone slowly making the way forward now towards where they need to be. Luke Cooper in the middle of the field. Luke Cooper gets a one-handed pass out of the back to Wildy. Wildy to Davis. Davis to Moore. Moore going across to left-hand side. He does a little hop, skip and a jump and he takes it over the 10-metre line, does Richard Moore, and Featherstone on the last. Hardman in at dummy half, takes it himself and it goes to Ormonroyd who spins and he's over.
Jack Ormonroyd manages to power his way over there on the last tackle. Ian Hardman picks the ball up, backs himself, but then keeps his head up, spots his option on the inside in the form of Ormonroyd. And Ormonroyd trying to keep him from getting that ball to the ground was an almost impossible task, one that proved to be impossible.
Featherstone Rovers get the half century up on that scoreboard. It's Featherstone Rovers 50, Dewsbury Rams 10.
I said I wanted 50. That is the 50 for Rovers. Jack Ormonroyd showing the power, showing the strength to get over just to the left of those sticks. And Rovers have been dominant this afternoon. And there's Corey Aston now with a kick, maybe a metre to the left of the sticks. This should be converted. This is a great boost for Rovers, for the points difference, for the confidence. Going to Blackpool next week, they can take a lot from this, Joanne.
They certainly could. Your wish was granted, Ben. The 50's up and Aston looks as though he's going to make it 52. And he certainly does. The ball goes through the middle of the sticks. So it's Featherstone Rovers 52, Dewsbury Rams 10, 4 minutes remaining of this game here. Round 14 Kingston Press Championship game between Featherstone Rovers and Dewsbury Rams.
Very impressive from the Rovers, and they've kept the performance up in this second half. It's been ruthless from the Rovers.
It's one of the things I said at half-time. Could Rovers maintain this level of intensity after the victory against Sheffield? They were in a dominant position then, but Sheffield came back strongly in the second half. But Rovers have been able to keep that intensity up, and they played really well today.
Hardman now from that kick-off, and he gets the ball away to Ormonroyd. Ormonroyd back to Hardman. Hardman puts the ball to the floor, though, unfortunately. That all came from the Dewsbury kick-off. It was a kick-off by James Glover. It's still play on. Dewsbury have got the ball, though. It goes to Tony Tonks in the middle of the field. We'll just come back to how that happened, and it's back to one for Dewsbury. It was a kick-off from James Glover. It was a high spiralling one. Davis parried it back to Hardman, who took it on the charge, and he managed to make that break, get it away to Ormonroyd, but unfortunately the pass back to Hardman wasn't able to be taken by Hardman, but it was a good piece of play by Featherstone Rovers until that error. So Dewsbury now in the Featherstone half with Dale Morton. Dale Morton going himself with a little grubber kick through. Inventive play. Turner bravely puts his body on the line, gets the ball away, and to Wilder, who I'm not sure wanted that ball there.
That's got to be flagged off. Truly bizarre from the Rovers on that set. Jack Ormonroyd, he runs faster than any prop I've ever seen, but he does pass like one, unfortunately, too. Featherstone earning the penalty there, so it's going to be a kick to touch. It's going to send them back upfield for one final attempt to try and break down this Dewsbury line, come away with points once more.
Can we shout, we want 58? Anthony Thackeray aiming for us in the gantry there, almost got us, but not quite. So Brad Tagg now with the ball, taking it forward from that tap. It's a quick play, the ball by Tagg, and Thackeray to Turner. And the ball's stolen from Turner's grasp by Aaron Brown. I'd say he's been Dewsbury's man of the match as Aaron Brown this afternoon.
Yeah, good play there from Aaron Brown. A one-on-one steal there. But a forward pass from Dewsbury. All that hard work there from Aaron Brown with the one-on-one steal to get possession back, and then a tackle later, a forward pass, and then just might as well not have bothered. And Rovers now with scrum, head and feed, 5 metres in the Rams' half.
Featherstone then, it looked like they'd squandered that final opportunity, but just shy of 2 minutes left on the clock. They've been given another. They're inside the Rams' half, and here with the scrum, Wildy sends it out. Thackeray, Talapapa in for the first one, being steady. He gives it inside to Hardman, and Hardman's got Rovers on the 40. Plenty of tackles left in the bag. A real opportunity here for the Rovers.
So Rovers now up to the 30. Wildy in attention at dummy half. It comes across to the left of Thackeray. Thackeray shows it, and it's a short pass to Lockwood, and I think it had a blue flashing light on it, did that pass. It was that much of a hospital pass to Lockwood. Nothing he could have done there, and he's put the ball to ground. So that attack fizzles out from Featherstone Rovers, and Dewsbury end up with the ball.
Again, the chance goes for Featherstone Rovers there. Forcing the pass really in these late stages of the game. Here are the Rams now on that road, on their own 40, coming up shy of halfway. We've got a minute left on the clock. But good defence there. Darryl Griffin and Matthew Wildy both in that tackle, pushing the Rams back. Here's Tony Tonks now driving that ball in. He's a couple of metres shy of halfway.
And there's the penalty. Tony Tonks earns that penalty. Griffin just not able to let Tony Tonks quickly enough to his feet to play that ball. So Dewsbury, with less than a minute on the clock, are probably going to get the last play of this game, the last set. Featherstone will be very keen to keep Dewsbury out as Igbenedian goes for the tap, but he takes it from the wrong place. So touch judge brings him back. Igbenedian taking it forward himself, 15 metres away from that Featherstone try line. Plays the ball, there's a man in the ruck, and referee weighs play on, and there's Aaron Brown again, and he slips but still gets to his feet, and we see a cheeky shot from him there as his shots come down, one for the ladies. So then it comes across to the left-hand side for Dewsbury with Speakman. Speakman puts a little grubber kick through, but that's going to go dead. So Featherstone with a 20-metre tap, 7 tackles. Still got 43 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock. Obviously, it's not the correct time, so not exactly sure how long's left. There you go. There's your answer. There's the final hooter. A very good day at the office for Featherstone Rovers this evening in this round 14 Kingston Press Championship game. They've come out victors by 52 points to 10 against the Dewsbury Rams.
Yeah, fantastic day at the office for Rovers. Dominant for very large parts of that game. A half-time lead they had of 32 points to 4.